recover after a day or two, and you were to not be punished in that circumstance, given that they recovered after a day or two. If you want to talk about the conditions of the Bible or what it explicitly says, let's talk about it. Because apparently you're only willing to hold Muslims to the standard, but you're not willing to hold Christians to the standard. Exactly my point. I have no issue with disagreeing with Islam, no issue with disagreeing with Christianity, no issue with disagreeing with Judaism. I just call it all out equally. And you sit up here and you call it out a double standard. You're only willing to call out Muslims who have extreme worldviews. You're not willing to call out Christians with extreme worldviews.
And you know the difference, because for the most part, Christians are harmless. And even if they hold
for the most part, Muslims are harmless.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why.
Give me a single source. Wait. So you think most Muslims are committing crime?
No. I didn't say.
So you think most Muslims are a threat to your safety?
I didn't say most.
The answer to this.
Muslims.
So you agree?
For the most part.
So for the most part, Muslims are safe to be around. Correct?
I mean.
Listen, you don't know?
Listen. The thing with Islam is that you cannot just fabricate your own interpretation of the Quran. They hold a strict standard. The Quran hasn't changed in a long time. The Bible is open to many.
That doesn't mean that there's not interpretation.
And that allows for progressive ideas to flow, right?
No, both of them are based on interpretation. You still have to interpret scripture.
Do you know when the last interpretation of the Quran was? And by the way, it's only done by scholars.
I think it's dependent on the sect. I think it's dependent on the sect and the particular understanding that you take.
And Sunni Islam is the most popular, and it is going to be the one that overtakes America, Europe, and all the other countries. Sunni Islam. So let's just stick with that.
I don't even know if that would be the case. But also, like, for example, Mamdani's Shia.
Mamdani is not Shia.
Yes, he is. I just looked it up.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I just looked it up. Yes, I did.
He's not Shia. Your sources are wrong.
Okay, well then, what's your source?
Google it again, but maybe
I did Google it.
Link. Oh, so you didn't Google it? So you're just pulling it out your ass?
I said I did Google it, genius. I said I did Google it, genius.
Pull up the book. Trust me, bro.
Dude, I literally looked it up on Google, and you're like, look it up on Google. I did.
Okay, hold on. Can you give me 1 second? I don't believe you.
Okay, then go ahead.
Is Mamdani Shia or Sunni? Mamdani. Okay, I will
read it out.
I will admit I was wrong. But anyways, that's besides the point. Sunni Islam is the most popular sect, and that is the one that is infesting.
Is it the most popular sect of people coming to our country?
Yes.
Okay, can you give me a source for that? What's your source?
Well, okay, let's make some very basic common sense.
No. I want a source. You just looked it up. Go ahead and look it up.
Parker, let me tell you why this is extremely common sense.
Oh no! Just go ahead and look it up. It's fine. You don't have to tell me it's common sense.
Seconds?
No.
Okay, I'll look it up. But
go ahead.
Then I'm going to explain why I didn't have to look it up.
Okay, that's fine.
What is?
Alrighty, Laura, thank you so much for the $20. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. And Zach, thank you for the $25. I really appreciate it. I wonder if the people slaughtered in the Crusades and the Inquisition would agree that Christians are mostly harmless.
What is the most popular sect? I had to ask ChatGPT.
No. Of people who are coming to our country.
Yeah. I searched. I said that. Of all Muslims coming to America, what is the most popular sect? Breakdown. Half to a clear majority of Muslims identify as Sunni, and that's because they're most.
What are you looking at?
Sunni. ChatGPT, Pew Research.
Okay, and so Pew Research has it? And let me type Pew Research. Click on the Pew Research link. Make sure it actually cites it. Because there are also
Pew
illegitimate
Research
citations.
Center, the title is called American Sunni Muslims.
American Sunni Muslims. Pew Research? Because I accept it from Pew Research.
I mean, anyways, I don't know why you're debating this. Sunni
No, I'm not even debating it. I just asked you for a source.
I mean, what's the deal? Like, who cares what
And
sect?
by
I
the way,
was
he
just
thinks.
saying it.
By the way, to clarify, Pew Research says that Muslims make up about 1% of the adult population. You're like, Muslims are taking over.
You literally said a few streams ago that Islam is the fastest growing religion and that it eventually will take over. Did you not
Well,
say
no,
that?
I said we say on the world stage that there will be more Muslims than Christians. That doesn't mean in the United States that Muslims are specifically taking over like the entire
Are
U.S.
you, is your brain not functioning? Even if it was in the worldview, it would still happen in the United States as well.
No, that's
Are
not
we a part?
necessarily
Are
true.
we?
Do you understand there's different proportional levels of Muslims in other countries comparative to
You're
the United
being
States?
hypocritical
And
because
also,
before
wait, wait, hold up.
you
Where
said
does it say
it was going to
Sunni
happen in the
versus
United
Shia?
States.
Where does it say Sunni versus Shia?
Muslims in the United States uh,
America. Here we go. This
belong
is
to a
from
diverse
2000. This is from
tradition.
2007.
Yes, 2007.
Um,
But why does it matter? I only brought up Sunni just so we can focus in on one sect. It really doesn't matter what sect it is.
it doesn't even
Uh,
say specifically. Like, wait, where
It
did you
says
see?
half identify with Sunni Islam.
Oh, okay. So
It literally
then,
says that in the second sentence.
yeah, and the other half agree with Shia, right?
No.
Wait, okay. Let me read this. Survey. Where does it say the percentages? This is just like a
16%
conversation.
Shia, 5% probably like Nation of Islam or something. 7 did not respond.
This is nationwide. I don't see the specific numbers. I mean, I can try and keep looking, but I don't.
Oh my
It
God, it
says
doesn't
with
matter. Who
another Muslim
cares?
tradition. It says about 1/5 of volunteers without any particular affiliation. So this is talking about how many are what's it called? Wait, here we go.
Oh, you're being
Muslims in the
disingenuous.
United I do see this. Muslims in the United States belong to diverse traditions within Islam. Half identify as Sunni Muslim, the largest population worldwide.
Exactly.
Um,
They're the majority worldwide, so that's why we didn't
it
have to
doesn't
search it
compare
up.
to how many individuals are Shia, but I'd
No,
have
you
to
just
check.
stopped reading. It literally says 16% are Shia. It literally says that like
That's
two more
referencing
sentences.
it's referencing under volunteers. It says about 1/5 of total
Yes,
22% of
exactly.
volunteers are just Muslim without any particular affiliation. Additional 16% identify with Shia Islam.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No.
so
So and then
that seems like it could be in relation to the particular claim about volunteers, but I'm not quite sure. Even so, I'm just like I'm literally just trying to clarify. Like I'm not like giving you pushback or anything on this. I'm literally just clarifying.
okay, so now we've established that Sunni is the most popular sect. Those are the ones coming to America. Okay, so now we can focus on the Sunni Sharia interpretation of the Quran. That has not changed in like
Wait,
centuries.
actually, can you just
They
give me a source indicating that a particular percent of Muslims in the United States have this particular interpretation that you're referencing?
Oh my God, bro. You literally just saw it.
No,
Sunni
wait, no.
Islam
I'm not. No,
makes up.
I never said of the interpretation of Islam. I said of an interpretation of something that you think is bad or it leads to harmful conditions within our society.
Okay, sure. So, I'm actually very well versed in Islamic traditions. So,
Really?
basically,
What are the five pillars?
the 5 pillars of Islam,
Yeah.
um, Ramadan, their pilgrimage, belief in the God and the Prophet, and something else.
So
All
you don't
right,
even know the
so
five pillars, and yet you're going to say that you're
I
so
just
knowledgeable
named
about it?
4 of them. Are you really giving me a hard time about this?
No,
Jeez,
well, I just
man.
think that's kind of funny. That's like akin to not knowing the first four books of the New Testament.
Okay, the last one is belief in the last day and judgment. And I did not look that up. I'm looking up something else. Okay, so let me find
Everyone can't wait to hear what the subject matter expert has to say, right?
all right. Okay,
Ricardo,
so
by the way, thank you so much, Ricardo. I really appreciate the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you as well. Hopefully you have a fantastic day. Grouchy, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Merry Christmas Eve to you. Merry Christmas Eve to you. William, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They said, I'm more worried about the straight white male than any Muslim. Yeah,
They're just lying.
I'm definitely more worried about MAGA, to be honest with you.
They're just lying.
If you want to talk about having horrible, absurd views, let's talk about MAGA, right? Like how they are totally justifying like assaulted, like people being pardoned who have assaulted police officers, how they're justifying
I
trying to undermine
literally
our
said, in my
democracy, our
opinion,
rule of law, our constitution, core American values. They put a rapist into the Oval Office. Did you hear what just dropped in terms of the Epstein files? Because in 2020 there was a particular I can show you this particular paper, a claim where like specifically someone who was in a limo literally heard them talk about assaulting some girl, quote unquote abusing some girl, and talking about Jeffrey multiple times, and specifically even made an accusation of rape. So like I mean, why don't you look at those Epstein files?
So unlike
Are those enough to say that you don't support Trump anymore?
So unlike the other people that come up here, I'm okay with calling out that stuff, right?
Oh, but you still support him?
And yeah, I told you. So Trump is not. He doesn't have a specific like policy, or maybe he does, that prevents Muslims from coming in. But he is a force that's resisting Islam.
Wait, so to clarify, you want to stop bad ideology from being in our country by supporting bad ideology? What type of crazy shit is this? This is worse than anything you'd be able to bring up with any Muslim. This is straight up Donald. This is straight up Donald Trump. Literally, you believe that he engaged in behavior like this, and you're totally willing to just overlook it because you want to stop Islam? That's embarrassing, dude. Where are your priorities? How about you focus on your country?
Look, listen, man. Eventually, we're gonna have a president that's not, outspoken like Trump again, and then you liberals will be happy. You'll stop crying all the time, okay?
You mean it's not just quote unquote outspoken? It's just he's literally like assaulted people. Okay,
Sure.
I'm like, when will you draw the line? I mean, like you're literally supporting a pedophile protector.
He's. That's going to change eventually, right?
Really, it's going to change eventually. So as of right now, what do you support?
I have to support Trump because of what he's doing. Look, listen, if a Democrat would push back on Muslims the same way, I would have voted for them. But right now, Trump, he's holding up that resistance towards Islam.
Okay, so
Islam
is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
What could he do to get me to stop supporting him?
Yeah.
Convert to Islam?
So the only thing Trump could do to get you to stop supporting him is if he literally converted to Islam.
I really don't like when you ask this question. Because,
wait, why are you so obsessed with Islam? Like, genuinely. Like, you are obsessed with Islam. That's all you care about? Are you a single-issue voter on trying to limit Islam coming into our country?
Single issue. That's actually, I didn't know that was a term, but that kind of describes me, yes.
That's ridiculous. It is absurd to say that. Wait, if you're a single issue voter, it essentially means you don't give a shit about the same implications that you're saying are wrong in this particular scenario applied to any other scenario. That's the issue with single issue voters, is that, again, you're not willing to apply your reasoning to any other set of condition. You're not critically thinking. You're not doing an overall analysis.
I don't understand what you're saying. Can you, explain it better?
Yeah, this is like not taking a vaccine because you saw one side effect from the vaccine, even though the side effect of the vaccine is significantly less prevalent than what you would get from the virus.
Okay. Look, man, I just think it goes back to what we were saying before. It's not like when these bad things happen and with
I have a question. Are you Christian?
And all that.
Are you Christian?
No, I'm not Christian.
You're not Christian? Do you have any religious belief?
I'm agnostic.
You're agnostic?
Yeah.
So then do you have an issue with Christians coming into our country who believe extremist things?
I told you, when Christians are extreme, it doesn't
Wait, can you agree with me right now that Jesus is not God?
Yeah, Jesus is not God. Why? Do you think I'm lying about being agnostic?
I thought maybe.
No, I'm agnostic. And that's the thing I was saying. Christians, when they're extremists, it doesn't flourish in the same way that when Muslims are extremists. Do you agree or not? It's not the same. When an application, it is not the same at all. Because when Muslims are extreme... I
mean, the Crusades, the Inquisition, do you remember any of that?
Brother,
do you remember the Crusades?
About 2,000 years ago? I'm talking about now.
No. So again, what you're not understanding is
Western culture.
What Western culture? Wait, what is Western culture?
freedom, democracy.
Freedom, democracy, some things that Donald Trump's undermining?
Oh my God, bro.
Wait, you said freedom and democracy, but then you wanted to limit a specific religion coming into our country. Is that freedom of religion?
I mean, if that specific religion is something that threatens democracy, then we have to limit it.
So you're okay with limiting freedom so long as that emboldens freedom in the long run?
So why? So when you
Wait, I asked you a question. Would you like to answer?
can you ask it again?
You're okay with limiting freedom to embolden freedom in the long run?
Yes.
Okay, so are you okay with mandating vaccines?
Mandating vaccines.
Yeah.
Only if it's been tried for at least no, actually only if it's people have. I would say only if like the Black Plague or the Plague Europe thingy. Only if it's on that scale, where like a third of the population on Earth could die. That's the only application.
Only if a third, so if a fifth of the population would die, you'd be okay with no vaccine mandate? So like you're okay with no vaccine mandate for polio?
Is polio why do you care, honestly?
Why do I? Because I don't want children to die because of diseases.
Hold on. Aren't you pro-choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so their body, their choice. Why do you need to mandate it?
Because vaccines,
make a very strong.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Vaccines. These are in public situations. You decide to go in public, then you have the conditions of going in public. It is a privilege to be in the context of a public school. You can choose to do homeschool yourself. You understand that I'm bringing up that in that context. That's one. Two, as it relates to this, it's also important because you're protecting sentient lives.
I mean, you're still forcing them to do something with their body, and it's very contradictory to pro-choice. I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
You have to understand that. I understand that you can come in contact with somebody that has it, but also maybe people will just stop going outside.
That's ridiculous. You don't want people to just stop going outside. Okay. And also, children. We're talking about children going into school systems. Do you want children going into school systems to get polio? Because idiots won't fucking vaccinate their kids. Like, literally, that is the reason that they would get polio. It's the reason why they get measles. It's the reason why they get so many different types of diseases in school, because some fucking idiot doesn't want to vaccinate their kids. Genuinely. I don't want to send my kids to an area where they're going to be at risk of something like that because of fucking idiots that genuinely don't listen to science.
I mean, we're already in a country that doesn't mandate vaccines. Are you seeing
we do. When you go to public school, you have to take a vaccine. 95% of people going to public school have to take a vaccine. Yeah, there are only very small exceptions.
Yeah, and which ones?
For medical reasons?
No. Not all vaccines are required. When I was a kid,
I'm saying like polio, measles, like MMR, and rubella.
Yeah. Okay, so those ones are mandated, right?
Yeah.
What was their criteria for picking the mandated ones versus the unmandated ones?
Wait, can I go back to my point? Like, you're willing to restrict freedom to embolden freedom to a greater extent? Is that your view?
Yes, because if we restrict Islam...
Okay, so then are you okay with restricting Christians from coming to our country as a whole, because that would limit freedom to a greater extent? Secularism is associated with more freedom?
You keep going in circles.
No, I'm not. Would you be okay with only accepting secular individuals into our country because it would embolden freedom?
No, we would assess their religion and we would assess how they apply their.
You're not listening though.
Jurisprudence and their.
We did assess it, and we found out that only secular individuals reduce the likelihood of that happening. Would you be okay with restricting every other religion other than secular individuals from coming to our country?
But that wouldn't be the result of assessment. Christians do not, in their application of the text, they do not. Their extremist views are not harmful. Well, they are.
Really, I have a question. So a lot of Christians believe that gay marriage should be illegal, especially worldwide. Okay, do you think that's justified?
No, I mean,
okay.
They
okay, so to clarify, so then we should ban Christians who have those beliefs, majority speaking, from countries around the world, in the countries in which they come from, because they have a certain view like that?
You're not getting it though, because
Wait, you want to
when
embolden
people
freedom?
do,
Wait, hold on. It's the same argument. You want to embolden freedom, right?
no, no,
Let's
no.
limit
Let me
Christians
explain.
that think that a gay marriage should be illegal. That's limiting freedom.
Can I explain? When a
Yeah,
gay marriage
try. Go ahead and try.
when a gay marriage happens here, and I don't know like if there's any states that still prohibit that, but when it happens here, what happens? Like you go to jail or something, or they force you to divorce or something. But when it happens in like Pakistan, brother, your head is getting clean chopped off. I mean, you can't tell me
I
there's
don't know
not
why
a
you're laughing at
difference.
that and why you think that's funny. So you understand that?
It's not. It's
Wait,
not funny. I'm sorry, but
for example, for Christians who have those particular views, do you think it's justified to restrict them from coming to the country?
chopping heads off, yeah. But find me
Yeah. So
one of
hold
them.
up. So
Find
then,
me one.
wait, in the Old Testament, it quite literally tells people to stone
Old
individuals.
Testament. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The
which some people
Bible
hold that
is
interpretation. Wait, that's one. Two is
listen.
related to this. Around the world, right, there are Christians, majority speaking, that think that that gay marriage should be illegal. If you want to limit freedom, limit the freedom of religion in order to ensure that more people have freedom within our country, well, then you would agree with that here. Secondly, you would also agree that we should limit people from utilizing their religious views in our government because that would embolden freedom to a greater extent
I
in
agree with
this
your
country.
third point.
So, for
I agree
example,
with
with
your third point.
abortion,
I
we
agree
should
with your
limit
third
them
point,
from
but
using
look,
their religion. So, how about this? No Christians in government. Is that your view?
no. No Christians in government if they are caught if they are caught trying to implement their biblical whatever
Okay,
into the
so
law.
practically most
And Trump doesn't
Republicans.
do that.
So
Trump
most
doesn't do
Republicans,
that.
yes, he does. Yes, he literally does,
No.
bro. He
Oh,
tried to
now
put
he's a
it.
Christian.
Wait,
Now
I'm sorry.
your
Listen,
whole
listen.
platform is built on
No,
him
no, no,
not
no.
being a Christian.
Listen. No, he
You
just
are so contradictory.
No, you're just not listening. He utilizes the mass religion that exists within our society in order to influence and control people. Okay, the Trump Bible. He sent that. He's trying to insert that into schools.
Is that not
They
blasphemy?
overturned Roe versus Wade because of it.
Is that not blasphemy?
What?
Trump Bible. It's blasphemy, right? And they
I mean,
still
I
follow him. So if
so
anything,
this
we're
is
dismantling religion one by one. It's actually a good thing.
that's not dismantling religion though. You understand that he's implementing
We're
the
letting
Trump
people
Bible
commit
in some
blasphemy,
schools.
which I don't even think is serious.
Wait, listen.
We're letting people commit blasphemy.
Listen,
He's
listen.
literally showing. He's making.
You're
them
not
keep their religion.
understanding. You're not
Okay,
understanding.
Parker. Let me just add one more thing, real quick.
I feel like you're
please.
being purposefully disingenuous when you try to
No.
interpret what I just said that way.
Okay. Let me just add one more thing. The fact that Christians will still follow a man who's ungodly, who is saying Trump Bible and all this nonsense.
Do not try to brand this
just
as like some good
proves-
thing. This is so
Please,
ridiculous.
No, listen. That just proves that Christians don't take their faith seriously.
Oh
You
my
will
God,
never
you're being
catch
so
a Muslim
ridiculous,
committing
bro.
blasphemy ever in your life. They take their faith way more seriously. Don't be a hypocrite. Please acknowledge the difference. Please acknowledge the difference. Find me one Muslim that would ever accept that. If you even disrespect their prophet, you're getting your head chopped off.
That's just
Please
not true.
acknowledge.
Did you know that
Please
there, like
acknowledge.
for example, this is something actually a recent person just brought up, specifically, over 68% of Muslims, right, thought there should be no violence to individuals that created particular cartoons of Prophet Muhammad in a context in which there was a controversy in
You're
Britain.
just lying. You're lying.
I'm not. I read a BBC article literally just recently. You can
Even
check
if
my.
it's true, a majority said yes. You just said it was less
No.
than 50%.
No, I said 68% were against it.
60. Oh, okay. I thought you said
Were against
48.
violence ever being used.
Okay. First of all, I don't believe it. That's just nonsense.
Okay, so you don't
Second
believe the
of all,
BBC article?
Where was it performed? Where was this?
Go look it up. Look
What
it up.
country? What country?
This is in Britain.
In Britain.
Yes.
Okay. It's fake. First of all, Don't
It's fake.
believe
So
it.
fake news. Whenever I disagree
Second
with
of all-
something, I just say it's fake news. You know, actually, I don't even look at the source. I just say it's fake. Okay, because I don't accept it. That means it has to be fake. Trust me, please, please
You know
trust me.
what?
Trust me. I didn't even know that BBC News is a real thing. It has to be fake because it disagreed with me. I promise you that. If it disagrees with me, it has to be wrong. I'm perfect. I'm the greatest person you've ever seen, the most intellectual, so rational. You've never seen someone make such legitimate, true claims as me every single time I speak. I'm actually so bigly great. So bigly great. So bigly smart. Very bigly. Very bigly. Bigger than you've ever seen before. I promise you that.
I feel like you're purposefully. This is the thing with you liberals. you walk on eggshells when it comes to Islam, and I just find that hilarious. They have a chokehold on you. You're
Dude, you
literally
walk on
refusing.
eggshells
It's
with Christianity.
cognitive dissonance.
No. Actually, what you're doing is you're walking on eggshells with Christianity. That's what you're doing because you're not
I
willing
don't
to call
give
it
a
out.
shit about
You're acting like exactly my point. You walk on eggshells with him. You walk on eggshells with Donald Trump, literally when he was held
explained
civilly
to you
liable of
why.
forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina against her will. You walk on eggshells with Trump supporters when they specifically defend Donald Trump literally walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without the consent, bragging about it, and then an 18-year-old coming out and saying that 4 girls as young as 15 years old were in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. You'll hear the Epstein files, that there was specifically a claim, right, that a limousine person literally heard Donald Trump talking with Epstein about in relation to, like, a quote-unquote abusing some girl, and that specifically there was an accusation that, quote-unquote, Donald Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, we can point to plenty of the things specifically in this context that you're just willing to overlook and walk on eggshells with because, again, it's Donald Trump and it's conservatives and you're willing to support them regardless. And they couldn't do a single fucking thing to get you to stop supporting him because you're a single issue voter and you only care about Islam. You are double standards galore. All you care about is Islam. You don't care about applying any of the same standards that you just talked about in terms of Islam to Christianity, ever. Even when there's a circumstance where, again, allowing in people of certain Christian views would restrict freedom in this country, you still weren't in support of limiting religious freedom within that respect to then limit freedom. To increase freedom. So, again, this whole argument you're making here, it's not grounded in reality. It's not grounded in truth. It's grounded in a fucking double standard of bullshit. PJW, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. And Xander, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You are literally engaging in everything that you're accusing me of. Do you want trans people and LGBTQ people to be in your country?
Absolutely.
Do you want them to have rights?
Absolutely.
And do you want them to not be, let's say, looked down upon by others in society?
I would prefer that, yeah.
And tell me how Islam will promote that.
How you only bring up Islam? I think Christianity is currently the one restricting that. I don't think Islam is currently the one restricting that in our country.
Nobody gives a shit in Christianity. Honestly,
you don't. You just don't. You just don't. You just don't.
No, and I just explained to you why Christianity is different. These people will blaspheme their own God just for Trump. They're literally loose followers. They don't give a shit what their Bible says. Muslims would never do that. They would have extremely high conviction. And you know that's true. You just don't want to admit it. You literally know that's true. And that's why Mamdani is culturally Muslim. He will never do anything.
You disagreed with that earlier. You looked it up and you said that you were wrong, and now you're not admitting that you were wrong?
No.
He just made the same talking point after disproving himself earlier on the stream.
No,
what are you doing? Dude, talking to you is a waste. Hey, dude, genuinely, I think talking to you is a waste of time. I don't see anything productive from this conversation. I genuinely don't. Is there anything that would change your mind? Other than he, like, turns to Islam? Like Donald Trump?
So you actually want to change people's minds?
Yes.
Okay. I respect that. I mean, I thought you were just here to debate, but...
Yeah, to change people's minds. I think you can change people's minds through debate. My mind has been changed through debate. Thousands of people's minds have been changed through debate in the comment section.
I mean, that's good. I guess I'm trying to change your mind about being so open to Islam. I don't know why you...
Dude, I have told you multiple times, I disagree with Islam, and I disagree with Christianity.
You don't. You're scared to call it out. You are absolutely
Is me saying I disagree with Islam not calling it out?
Call out what it says in their Quran, then. You're scared to.
Wait, if a Muslim is going to come up on my live stream and argue for their particular perspective based upon Islam, I will do that. But the reason that I don't do that as much is because there are less Muslims that will come up on the live stream and do that. Actually, hell, I don't even remember the last time a Muslim came on the live stream and did that. So if you want to talk about, right, why we bring up Christianity so much, it's because you fuckers do. We wouldn't have to talk about Christianity if you guys didn't bring it up.
Okay, first of all, I said I'm not Christian, and I don't give a shit about Christianity. And honestly, since I'm a single issue voter, I don't give a shit about half the other people that voted for Trump for whatever they want.
Wait, so if Donald Trump did grape children, you'd still vote for him?
He did not grape children.
No, if he did.
If he raped children?
Would you still vote for him?
No, if there was undeniable proof.
If he was held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating a child against their will, would you still vote for him?
A child? No.
Okay. Would you still vote for him if he were held liable for forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will?
Why do you say it like that? You're actually like you. You're
Oh,
gross,
Parker, don't
dude.
disprove me. Please, Parker, stop. Stop right now. Don't disprove me. Stop giving me good arguments so that I have to concede. Please, Parker.
No, you're actually like. I mean, you're like demeaning Eugene Carroll.
No,
Honestly.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're just like referring to her as a body part. That's just weird,
What?
bro.
No, I literally said that. Wait, I asked you a question. Would you
Did
vote
he
for Donald
penetrate
Trump?
her or her
Would
whatever
you
you
would you
said?
vote for
That's
Donald
just
Trump
weird to phrase it
if
like
Donald
that.
Trump was held civilly liable of forcibly penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will? That's what happened, and it's E.
He
Jean Carroll, not Eugene.
he penetrated her,
Yes.
right? So I mean,
So would you vote for him if he did that?
I knew he did that, and I still voted for him. So I
So
guess
what's the
that's fair to
relevant
say.
difference between an adult and a child? That means in one scenario you'd vote for the guy that raped him in one scenario, but not in the other.
Um, the difference between that and a child.
Yeah, an adult and a
I'm
child.
gonna
That
be
means in
honest. Sorry.
yeah. What's the relevant difference between the adult and a child? That means in one scenario that you'd vote for this person who raped them, but not in the other one.
I would say the only difference is that with an adult, there is a potential that this story could be fabricated. That's the only difference.
Is there not a
I
potential the
think
story
if
could
a
be
child
fabricated
says
with a
it,
child?
I think if a child says it, that like they have no concept of that. So if they're
Wait,
saying it, that
that's
means
just
I
wrong.
think it
That's just
really
wrong.
happened.
Wait, do you have
How
kids?
would they even know what
Do
that
you have
is though?
kids?
No.
Okay. When you were a kid, did you ever lie?
I lied, but not about things
Okay.
that I
So
couldn't
then,
conceive of.
oh, okay. So then again, in this particular scenario, it's
I would have
absolutely
to know what I'm
possible.
lying
It's
about.
absolutely possible that kids can lie. So then let me bring this up. Uh, uh, in this context, again, given that there was a same probability that the child lied as to what you think is true in this particular scenario, who would you rather vote for?
I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, given that there was the same probability of the child lying as what's true, particularly when the individual is an adult, right? Would you still vote for Donald Trump in that scenario, given that the child had the same probability of lying as an adult?
Uh, I guess not. I mean,
Oh, okay. So then it's
uh,
not about the probability of lying. So what is it about?
I don't know. You got me, but
Oh, okay. So it's a double
yeah.
standard. It's a double standard. You don't care about rape when it affects women. You don't care about rape when it affects adults. You don't care about the fact that it's happening. You're willing to overlook it and act like it's not a big deal because you're caring about Islam. Which again, if you care about protecting people's freedom,
But
I don't
there's
know why you'd
child
support a
marriage in
fucking
Islam.
rapist in the Oval Office that
There's
undermines
child
people's
marriage
freedom
in
and access to
Islam.
abortion rights in this country based upon his particular religious prescriptions that he's trying to enforce upon other people.
I'm sorry. Last I heard, Islam doesn't allow gay marriage. There's child
Same thing with
marriage.
Christianity.
They don't give a shit. They'll let it
That's just
happen.
not true.
They
If
don't.
you look, if you
They
look
won't cut
at,
your
wait,
head
I'm
off
sorry,
for it.
2015, 10 fucking years ago, it was made legal in this country. Don't even tell me that Christians specifically do support it
And a
across the
Muslim
board.
country
That is an
would never do
absurd
that.
talking point.
Are we? Is this a Christian country?
No,
Is this a Christian majority
it's a
country?
secular country.
Is this a Christian? Hold on. Before you said, should we allow Christians in government? And you said most of them are in government. So the people in government allowed for gay marriage in 2015. I think a Muslim
Because
country,
of
it
the
wouldn't
Obama
happen in a
administration.
million years. A
Because of the
million years,
Obama
it wouldn't happen.
administration, not because of the Republicans, because of Obama. Did you know 2016 Republican Party under Trump's admin, under Trump's own fucking party, said that they wanted to make gay marriage illegal? Under the
Trump,
Republican
Trump
platform in
didn't say
2016.
that. Trump didn't say that.
In the Republican platform, you can read it from the Republican platform at the RNC in 2016,
Well,
which is when Trump was the nominee.
well, first of all, uh, wouldn't even allow that. To be honest, you there's a Trump actually supports gay people.
Yeah, but he's
There's
the
gay for
GOP. He's the
Trump,
guardian of pedophiles, right? Donald Trump is the guardian of pedophiles. The GOP.
but Trump is it would allow gay marriage. He would never let a bill pass or anything that would prevent that. But if you let Mamdani in the
Again,
office,
ridiculous, by the
what's
way,
gonna
because again,
happen?
in his own Republican platform in 2016, it said that they want to make it illegal. Now, he might not be able to, optically speaking, but obviously, I think that we can acknowledge that he did try to do that in the first place. Secondly, right, you're not acknowledging what I just said. He
No,
absolutely is the
not him.
guardians of pedophiles. Do you want to acknowledge that? Would you support for him if he was guarding and protecting pedophiles from being held accountable?
Who is he guarding that's a pedophile?
The Epstein files, he was saying it was a hoax.
Didn't
Hell,
he
the
say-
Department of
didn't he say
Justice
he does
literally
not
just
have-
went on and tweeted out, like literally they hit his lawyer on there, and they tweeted out all of the stuff about Donald Trump. These are just fake lies, and media made up things about Donald Trump. They're actually not true. They're actually so not true. I know in these Epstein files it claims Donald Trump did horrible and horrific things, but they're fake. They're hoax. They're not real. And actually, like, you know, that they were literally like redacting a bunch of crazy shit, right, and other people, and like limiting us from being able to see other people and like who else was involved, and they're not releasing it currently right now by breaking the fucking law. So all of the Epstein files haven't even been released, and of the ones that have been released, they're like, okay, even though it says Donald Trump did these horrible things, please don't believe it. Please, please, please don't believe it. It's fake. It's fake. And you're like, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense, Trump. They definitely are fake. They're totally a hoax.
Okay. So Parker, let me ask you this: if there was a Democrat that behaved in the same way as Trump,
They wouldn't be
Right.
in. They wouldn't be in the political
Hold on,
office.
hold
They
on,
wouldn't be
hold
the
on.
candidate of our party.
hold on. So there is a Democrat that behaved like Trump, and like right now, Trump is doing all the things that the Republicans want, like in an aggressive manner, right? So what if this candidate was doing all the things the Democrats want, but in an aggressive manner? Would you vote for that?
No, I actually think that every single
They're bringing
person.
in everyone. They would bring in.
I think every single
everyone, and
person who
the
does this
Republicans
should be
would get
disqualified
killed.
from running for presidency. If you have raped a woman, you should be disqualified for running for presidency. If you specifically literally call for the deaths of some of your political opponents who just said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders, literally, which just means uphold the Constitution, you should not be allowed to run. You should not be allowed to run in plenty of these scenarios. These are disqualifiers, and we should legally enshrine that into the fucking law where they cannot even run in the first place, where you don't even have to make this calculation because apparently we can't fucking trust our population to make this determination. That's how embarrassing we are right now as a fucking voter base. When we voted for Donald Trump, we can't even fucking trust our voter base to vote for people who have those criteria and values. We just need to make it illegal for them to run. Let's amend the Constitution. Make it illegal for rapists to be president. Let's amend the Constitution. Make it illegal for people to call for the deaths of their political opponents to run for president of the United States. What would be the reason not to do that? Why couldn't you agree with that?
So we live in a democracy, last time I heard, and if you wanted to, we can impeach Trump. But the problem is,
I would
you
like to,
Democrats
but
didn't get
Republicans
out there
won't
and
do
vote.
it. Republicans won't do
No,
it.
no,
This
no.
is what I mean. We have an issue.
You guys didn't go out there and vote, so that's your problem. I don't know why you're. So
I think
angry at the
it's
vote for
important that we needed to go out and vote as well, but you also have to realize that you guys voted for your side.
it. Listen, if every Democrat voted in 2024, Trump or Kamala would be in office. So you should talk to your people instead of getting mad at everybody else. You say
Wait,
that
I
it
can
should
wait.
be
Can I
illegal. It
acknowledge? Can I
shouldn't be
acknowledge that
illegal.
we should have
be able to-
voted, and you guys shouldn't have voted for your side?
No. Okay, so now you're getting into this dictatorship country ideals and stuff. Why do you not
Dictator?
want?
You think I'm advocating for dictatorship? Because I
reason-
said it should be illegal for rapists to run for president. You think
So
that's
do you think-
dictatorship? You fucking
Hold
idiot.
on. Do you think that people who vote for rapists should it be illegal to vote for a rapist?
Yes, because they shouldn't be able to run in the first place.
So you want half of the sorry, not half of the country. You want all the Republicans that voted for Trump to go to jail.
No,
your
that's
ideal
not my
view of
perspective.
America.
No, I just said
literally just asked you: should it be illegal to vote for?
yes because
for
I
a
said that
rapist?
they shouldn't be allowed to even run in the first place.
So you
That
think,
doesn't mean we put people in prison for voting for Donald Trump.
you literally just said that if it's illegal,
That's not what I said.
They have to go to jail, right?
That's not
For doing
necessarily
that.
true, by the way.
Oh my God. Okay, so they have to be tried or charged or whatever for voting for Donald Trump. Is
No,
that not?
I have
are
just
you not
clarified. Why do you
describing,
keep trying to run this argument? I've said multiple times. I don't believe that they should go to jail for voting for Donald Trump. I believe it should be illegal for Donald Trump to even run in the first place.
Exactly. So but you can still vote for somebody even if they're not running, right? So if they voted for Donald Trump despite the fact, do you think they should go to jail?
Well, I don't
Or
think that he should even be a qualified candidate. It's like if people voted for someone who was not born in the United States, should they be allowed to become president? Technically, the law, the Constitution says no, right? Because they weren't qualified to run. That's like saying, could people vote for Trump for the third term even though he wasn't able to run? And he gets elected? That'd be absurd.
Well, he wouldn't get elected. But I mean, my point was, I don't think it should be illegal for anybody to run for president as long as they meet the current criteria we have.
Okay, then can I ask you a
Because
question?
when you
Do you think it should have been legal for Jeffrey Dahmer to run for president?
legal? Yes, he wouldn't have won though. That's the thing. That's
Should it have been legal for Jeffrey Epstein to run for president?
It should. It already is legal, and well, actually, he's a. Can felons run for? I don't even know. So
well, yeah, Trump is a felon, so I'm like,
yeah, he can run for president, but that's the thing.
And do you think that should be legal? Here, I have a crazy take. It shouldn't be legal for convicted pedophiles to run for president. That's a crazy take, isn't it? Oh my God, Parker, you're advocating for dictatorship when you say that convicted pedophiles shouldn't be able to run for president. Like, is that what you're gonna say? Is that what you're gonna whine about? No, convicted pedophiles should not be able to run for president. It should be illegal for them to do so. Because of people like you, who will vote for them.
I don't think you're understanding. If people vote for somebody, that's a reflection on the country, right?
Yes, and I don't think.
If they vote for a pedophile, that means they accept pedophilia. Is that not
okay?
true?
I have a question then. Do you think slavery should have been left up to the states? Because certain states, if they make that determination, that should have just been up to them.
That's not how it worked, though.
Why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? Answer the question. Do you think slavery should have been left up to the states? Do you agree with the Confederates?
Slavery should have been left up to the states?
Yeah. Do you think that? Yeah.
No, but that's not.
Oh, okay. So then you disagree with democracy in that circumstance? Of course you disagree with democracy in that circumstance.
Sense. It was a federal.
Wait, so oh my gosh, does it make sense in certain circumstances to disagree with democracy? Because quite literally it would mean that like fucking slavery would be allowed in some circumstances historically?
Okay.
Like, so you understand that we're against that, right? Like, we don't think it should have been left up to the states. We don't think that a certain state should have been able to democratically vote that into the place. The same way that I don't think that as president of the United States, you should be able to democratically vote a convicted pedophile into the fucking position. Right, obviously, that should be illegal.
Stop twisting my words. First of all, the abolishment of slavery, was that unconstitutional?
The abolishing of slavery, was that unconstitutional? No.
Okay, so there's literally nothing wrong with.
Is it unconstitutional for us to put another standard on running for president of the United States? I said to amend the Constitution. I think that absolutely we can do that legally. We should be able to get people on the left and the right in support of this. This should be a bipartisan thing. To say that convicted pedophiles should not be allowed to run for presidency, people held civilly liable of sexual abuse not be allowed to run for presidency. These are very simple things to say, right? If we don't believe that people who meet these particular crimes should be able to even legally emigrate to our country, then why should they be allowed to be president of the fucking United States?
Parker, let me explain why this is a very bad idea. Okay, so let's say in 2028, we get a Democrat, and they establish that rule that you just said. Okay.
By the way, Chad, that was not alcohol. That was not an adult beverage. Okay, that was not an adult beverage. I know the bottles look like that. Sorry, go ahead.
The dude like openly. Anyways, okay. So let's say Democrats establish that rule that you just mentioned, right? Okay. The next presidency, Republicans, they become retaliatory. And they establish another rule that says XYZ, you can't become president. And then they deadlock all the good Democratic candidates out of becoming president. And now Republicans are there forever. You slip into dictatorship. You cannot be changing who can't be a president. You have to keep it very minimal. 35 years old, born in America.
No. So I never said based on certain. I never said even certain ideological beliefs. I said crimes that they've committed.
No.
And also,
That's
by
what
the
I'm
way, I don't
saying.
think that
It becomes a slippery
here,
slope.
listen. No, it doesn't. I don't think banning convicted pedophiles from running for president of the United States would make it so that there are no good Democratic nominees. Like, what type of crazy take is that?
No. I'm saying the Republicans would put out a retaliatory rule about this person can't become. It would be some like arbitrary rule. This person can't
No,
become
you'd have to
president.
amend the Constitution to do that.
Yeah, and
Which
if
amending the
Republicans are
Constitution?
in
Do you know how much
majority, they
amending
would.
listen? Do you know how much amending the Constitution takes?
What do you mean takes? Like time or votes or what are you talking about?
Votes, yeah.
Votes? I mean, is it it's not, is it 2/3 majority or
Yes.
okay? So if so 2/3 majority, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like Republicans could easily exploit that, and then they put out a new rule, and we're done. We're toast. They put out a new rule that says this person can't become president,
Yeah,
and
they're
that
not going to get
and that
2/3 of this
criteria
of
applies to
the
like
state
90% of
legislatures.
Democrats.
They're not going to get 2/3 of the state legislatures. That's just not happening if they're trying to amend it towards like getting
You're
rid of
just
Democrats,
thinking so
because it would
small.
rely on Democrats to do that. Do you understand that what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that again,
And
they're
maybe
not going
a
to.
Democrat would be fooled into voting for that. I mean, you're thinking small. Like we cannot add rules to who can't run for president.
Yes,
That's
we
just
can.
dangerous.
Yes, we can. You're
That's
the
literally dangerous.
you're the only weirdo in the fucking country that would advocate, or actually one of the only weirdos in the country that would
No, I would
advocate
just
for
not vote for
convicted
that.
pedophiles to run for president. Like seriously,
I would just
that's
not
such
vote. I would.
that is such an unhinged take. That is such an unhinged take. I think the average person would agree with me that convicted pedophiles should not be allowed to run for president of the United States. I don't think that's a wild take. I don't think that's an unhinged view. I don't think that's even like a view that's only held by a small portion of the population. I think practically every person I were to talk to in real life would agree with this position because it's a reasonable common sense view, okay? That everyone can understand. You don't have to be political to understand that it's absurd for a convicted pedophile to be in the position of presidency. And regardless of the political aisle, no person should be in that position. No person should be allowed to run for president. Like, because then idiots
Okay.
like you that will vote for those people. Like,
Hold on, Parker. Here's where you got caught in your tail, whatever. So you said I'm the only weirdo that
I
thinks that.
never said only. I rephrased it right after and said one of them.
Oh, okay. So you knew I was gonna cook you with that. So if
I already
if you
clarified
think,
before. You just didn't listen.
Nah, you think there's only like a few of us weirdos. So then he would never get
Yeah,
voted in the
I think
first
even
place.
most Trump supporters would probably agree that convicted pedophiles shouldn't be allowed to run until at least it would be
Oh.
applicable to Trump.
Oh, okay. So if you're basically saying most people would agree that PDF files shouldn't run for president.
Yeah,
If
they
most
shouldn't be
people
allowed.
think
Yeah.
that way, then we have no issue because they would never get voted. Is that correct or not correct?
Well, no, the issue is that in this circumstance, we have to gridlock this so that there's never a question of whether or not you're going to vote for them based upon some sort of ideological principle you hold to. Because I think in those circumstances, you'll still see people justifying horrible and atrocious things.
Well,
And like, genuinely, be honest with yourself right now. You are straight up protecting pedophiles by doing this. They were convicted, okay? There is no argument for this. You are fucking insane. Genuinely. Fucking insane.
I think that
I don't see anything more productive. Is there anything else you want to add to the conversation? I don't see anything more productive with you, to be honest with you.
okay. I mean, I'm gonna get off here, but I just want to say, I think that if you
So the next individual only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Marin, thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. Can we get some W's from Marin in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Marin. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, W's from Marin in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. And that's totally true. Like I wish that they would look at it on both sides there. And then Sophie, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it on PayPal. Thank you very much. He apparently just completely forgets about it in that scenario, right? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, hi. I'm 18.
And do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah. No. I don't know.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let's get on to the next person here real quick. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed here on the TikTok screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. We get the main account back tomorrow, I think at like 1:40 p.m. Just letting everyone know. 1:40 p.m. tomorrow is when we get it back. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
December.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I would vote for Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
It just mainly lines up with more of my like beliefs.
Such as?
Just mainly I'm a Christian, so I really do believe in the right to life. And I believe that all of our amendments and rights are pretty valuable. And just with Kamala, there was not like a primary, or there wasn't actual. Just I didn't see that she was fit to be president with the rushed everything.
Okay, well, she was Christian. She is Christian, by the way, just clarifying. Secondly,
Yeah.
We in the primaries voted for the Biden-Harris ticket, meaning that if Biden decided to step down at any point, that Harris would step up. Also, 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee, and no one decided to run against her because everyone knew that she would have gotten the win.
For sure.
So that's actually like the point that I would bring up, is that
was-
like we technically did have a process for this, but the process it started in the normal primary process, and we just followed and respected the typical process of president and vice presidency. And we were 107
I get
days out,
that.
so this is also unprecedented.
Yeah, for sure. I think that everything happened so late that there wasn't really much of another option. But I think just because it was happened so late and so rushed that there was no other person to really step up or do anything, that was just kind of I just didn't see that as right. And the previous term with Donald Trump, everything. Obviously, no one's perfect, and there's never going to be a politician that I think is perfect. And as a Christian, I don't think that every politician, once they get like so recognized by the media and by the world, that I don't think anybody's really gonna withstand or hold up to what I believe in. Just because I don't think I think the world obviously takes a toll on people's morals and all that. But the main thing I wanted to hear your opinion on was like abortion and stuff. I've seen some of the stuff that you talk about like online and on YouTube and stuff. But I just wanted to actually have an actual conversation and just see what your thoughts were.
Sure.
So I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not a Christian, right?
No.
Okay. So where do you believe that like life begins?
Conception. I can hear you swipe out of the app, just letting you know. I believe life, cellular life, begins at conception, but what we deem as medical life doesn't happen until 20 through 24 weeks. It's sentient life, 20 through 24 weeks in the womb. Again, I can't hear you when you swipe out of the app, but you have to be in the app, and you have to see me in order for me to be able to hear you. Alrighty, if you're on YouTube, everyone hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It helps get it out to more people.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's going on. So most of my points are basically based on my belief as a Christian. But I just think that if we believe in all of our rights, like our inherent rights as Americans, something that I think is extremely important is the right to life. And I don't see why someone who can't speak yet is already they're taking away that right because they're in such a humble form as just a baby. And I don't think it's right to take an evil act of like some people argue that it could be different in like a rape case scenario. I think that's a terrible situation, and I really do feel for the individual, but I just don't know why we have to go evil for evil and in turn abort a child, because there's so many people in America that are on the waiting list for adoption or for foster care, and I don't just understand why babies are automatically just if they're not wanted, they're just treated like trash and just thrown away. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that it's valuable at a greater extent or considered it to be a person at the point in which it meets sentience, which is 20 through 24 weeks, because we don't think it's murder to pull the plug on an individual in our family that's brain dead, because we think that they've hit the point of medical death. So in the same way that we define medical death within that scenario, medical life wouldn't happen until 20 through 24 weeks in the womb. So that's when I would consider it to be a person or meet that particular standard for value. So that would be the way that I view it, and I don't think abortion prior to that is wrong at all. So I think it definitely should be up to the choice of the individual who's pregnant.
Well, at where your example where you talked about the person at the end of their life when you decide to pull the plug, whenever someone's like medically brain dead or there's not really much potential for like further like progress like in their health, it's kind of the opposite whenever it's with a child because there's so much potential for life and you have no idea what that child's going to bring to the world. Like, I just don't think that's a very equal example just because a child is at the beginning stages of life and there's so much for them to live. And then with somebody else who you're deciding to pull the plug on, it's kind of at the end of their time.
Okay. So the point that I would make is that, again, if you consider them dead at the point of brain death,
Yeah.
well, then they wouldn't be alive prior to sentience if you're using that same definition of life in that context. So there's two different notions of life, sentient life and cellular life. I agree cellular life begins at conception, but what we consider to be valuable, at least from a sense in which we're referencing a brain-dead individual, that would be the medical life, right? Now, in that context, in the same way that it hasn't, that they'll never get it back, if you get an abortion, they'll never have it in the first place.
Well, I don't know. I just because at conception, whenever sperm meets egg, that becomes your own individual clump of DNA cells, and everybody, like as we stand right here, we're our own individual clump of DNA, and I think that is life right there. And if we think that we can just like decide to eliminate that or abort that baby, I don't see how that lines up with our rights to begin with, right to life and right to freedom of speech, and that child doesn't have that freedom just because that might not be medically or scientifically said that it's life. I think it's every much as I'm saying right here, I have every much right as that child does in its mother's womb.
So again, the point you're saying is that you just believe it has rights. Is that based on Christianity?
I would say it's based back to that, but I don't know. I just think that it's wrong to predetermine or predestine how someone's that they get to die just because the mother or the father made a wrong choice that they weren't willing to not really suffer, but they weren't willing to have to deal with the consequences or the repercussions of what they wanted to do. I just don't think it's right to kill a life because someone wanted to have a little bit of fun or someone wanted to do something else.
So again, we're talking about cellular life. I don't really care about it in the same way that you don't really care about sperm as cellular life, right? Like, so I guess I just like, what's the point of saying that it's a person insofar as that someone's rights should be restricted, where you're affecting the experiences, right, and quality of someone's life in the context of a sentient individual, but you're not doing that to the individual that would be aborted because, again, there's no experience that it would ever have.
Well, there's scientific proof that there is, maybe we can't remember it now, but there is scientific proof that there is brain function and there is memory from the womb. So I don't think it's really, obviously you can't remember what it was like whenever you're in your mother's womb now, but I don't think it's really fair to say that there was no experiences from the fetus because like you can't remember that, and
when we say subjective, we're not talking about memory, right? We're talking about subjective experiences. How do we know this? Because of neuroscience papers.
Mm-hmm. But there's still brainwave function whenever they're in their mother's womb.
Yeah, I'm saying 20 through 24 weeks in the womb.
Do you discourage abortion after that fact?
Well, I think it's morally wrong to do in elective circumstances. I just don't think anyone's doing it in elective circumstances at that point. It's like medical circumstances, which we would say that there should be exceptions for, of course.
Yeah, like health for the mother and stuff like that.
Yeah. No one's waiting till that point of the pregnancy just to engage in an elective lethal abortion. Mm-hmm. And after viability, it's just an induction of labor anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it. So I appreciate you talking to me, but I just think that life is so valuable, and that it's something that we need to.
Well, then, can I ask you this question? Then, how do you feel about
Yeah.
Donald Trump, his administration murdering people off the coast of Venezuela with absolutely no evidence given to Congress that they had DRUGS in the first place?
Um, I will say right now that I'm not going to try to pretend that you don't have more political knowledge than me, because you definitely have a lot more political knowledge. But from what I do know about that, um, I think that every country is entitled to protect itself, and with the amount of people that are killed every year based on like illegally peddled drugs and stuff like that, like fentanyl.
Oh,
Um,
you can't say that on the live. I have to kick you now.
oh
Sorry, it's
man,
TikTok TOS. And if you're talking about F drug specifically, it wasn't coming from Venezuela. That's not the main DRUGS that's brought from that country. It's actually C drug or M drug, which is legal in a bunch of states here in the United States. But for C drug, Donald Trump pardoned a convicted C drug trafficker who was convicted of trafficking over 400 tons of C drug. By the way, everyone, I think Dina's gonna hop on here pretty soon. I might hop off and then just like hop on later and do a kind of like split live today. I do have to get off by around 6 o'clock my time later today, but I'll have time like at like 3:40 to get off because I do have therapy anyway at 3 o'clock. So once I'm done with therapy, I'll be able to get back on live, and Dean should be off by then. So we could probably just run like a second 2 hour stream, something like that. And I'll probably join Dean in the meantime. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Of course.
And what's your birth year?
2007, May.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I would. Or I would vote for Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I support Trump mainly in the fact that I just don't, I guess, align my beliefs and my political views with the Democratic Party. For one, I guess I want to talk about ICE is the first thing I want to talk about with you.
Okay.
I just want to say, I guess maybe I don't have the best knowledge on this, but what's the reason the Democratic Party doesn't agree with ICE and doesn't agree with, I guess, kicking undocumented immigrants or illegal immigrants out of the United States?
So there already is border enforcement, and ICE was even used under the Democratic administration. So those are two things. The way ICE was used was different, though. Now, if you want to reference like how they used ICE historically, they prioritized looking for people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, although they did still go after people who have not. Whereas like now it's being used to primarily go after people who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime. Over 73% of those that are detained by ICE have no prior criminal record. So like that would be an important thing to look at. And they're also violating due process rights to a greater extent.
And
And
I
they're
guess
racially
I'll say this.
profiling.
Well, in my opinion, yes, they're not. I do agree, get the violent criminals out first if they're illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants. But
Okay.
I do still think even if they didn't like do a crime, they should still be honestly out of the country. Because I think it's kind of a fu to all the legal immigrants who came to this country and took all the precautions and rough tests. Because it's a very long process.
Sorry, repeat what you're
Okay.
saying. I'm confused what you were trying to say there.
I'm basically saying, like, if you wait in line for an ice cream sandwich, and you waited 5 hours for this ice cream sandwich, and someone budges you, and they waited 3 seconds, that's kind of a screw you, and you both end up with an ice cream sandwich. That kind of sucks. Just in the same sense of, if you took 4 years to get citizenship here, and someone crossed a border illegally in a week, then that's not fair.
Think about it this way. Prior to public school being free, people had to pay for it. So if you paid for your kid's school and then it became free public school was open, would that be annoying or be unfair under that
Wait,
same
sorry,
reasoning?
repeat that.
Yeah. If we're referencing public school, prior to public school being created, you paid for your kid's school, and then public school became a thing. Would that be unfair to the people who paid for public school or paid for school prior for their kids?
No, but that doesn't really correlate.
What do you mean? That does.
No, it doesn't, because right now, like, what do you mean, like public school? Like, are they getting a better education in public school, or is this the exact same education?
Dude, are
Like,
you
is it a
listening? I'm saying prior to public school being a thing, right? People had to pay for their kids' school.
Yes.
And then when public school became a thing, was that unfair to the people who prior had to pay for it? Because now people do not have to pay for it.
No, but why did I don't get the correlation? Can you explain the correlation between that and
The conditions are better and you don't have to pay for it now because public school's a thing, but prior they did have to pay for it. So they got the same education, just one had to pay for it and the other one didn't. And it's better for the people in the future, and it was worse for people in the past.
yes, but also going
And
to
making it
public
better for
school-
people in the future doesn't necessarily mean that, again, it was unfair because of the fact that people in the past didn't get it.
Sure,
If
that's
anything, it would
also-
just be more justification for why they should.
Going to public school isn't also illegal.
What the fuck are you saying?
It's illegal to go into our country illegally. It's not illegal to go to public school.
Do you
If they
understand
were
the
both-
point? Dude, do you understand the point that I'm making is
I
about
get the
making
point
the
that you're
system
saying, it's
quicker.
just
We
not
were
that
talking
great of
about
a
how
thing.
long it took for someone to get into the country, okay? Because
Okay,
it was
yes, but it also is important to know that one is also illegal. Like, okay, say this. All right, here's an analogy. If you go to a movie theater and you trespass and you walk in, you didn't pay for anything, and they figure this out and you're just sitting down watching the movie, should they have the right to kick you out of the movie theater? Yes, they should. And that's not like a bad thing to say that. It's just that's what should happen. They have the right to kick you out. And they will.
Did you really just not understand what I'm saying that much? Like,
I'm
dude,
saying
all I was trying to demonstrate to you was that there being progression within a particular system does not mean it was unfair to the people of the past. If anything, if you do think it was unfair to the people of the past that people are now are getting it, that's just evidence that, again, this is a better system that we're now giving to people. So there was progress there. Like, again, you're
Yeah.
saying the reason why it would suck for people to get citizenship very quickly comparative to other people that had to wait for a very long time is because it took less for the person that is coming here now. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we should make it the same for everyone. That's like again, like a grandparent being like, I had to walk in negative 40-degree weather
you're
with
making
absolutely no shoes on to school
Doing a
every
Trump
single
impression.
day in
Doing
order
a
to
Trump
get there, so you can do this too. And like, that doesn't
No,
mean that you
okay,
have to do the
you-
same thing just because historically they did that, and it's
Yes.
not unfair to them that it's now become better and that there's better transportation mechanisms now.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with them getting citizenship more efficient. I'm just saying illegal, like getting it illegally, just coming into this country illegally. Yes, if it's more efficient and easier to get your citizenship, that's totally fine. But they're not getting their citizenship when they just come in. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand that when people come to the country undocumented, they didn't get a citizenship. But do you understand my point? Does my
Yeah,
point
I
make sense to you?
I understand your point if they weren't coming in like undocumented.
That wasn't even relevant to the comparison.
What do you mean?
What you just said wasn't relevant to my comparison. My comparison is about the fact that it's better now doesn't necessarily mean that we shouldn't make it better because of the fact that it wasn't that good for other people in the past. You're
I
essentially
think it was-
advocating against progressing society.
Not advocating for progressing society. You're advocating for speeding up the process, which is allowing more problems in.
No, okay, how is it more problems?
Because more undocumented. Okay, I don't really know the statistics on this, but if I were to guess,
I probably do.
I would say, wow. Why can't you just be nice to me, Parker? I'm trying to debate you. But here's the
Hi,
thing.
that wasn't a mean thing for me to say. I probably do.
Oh, I thought, okay. I thought you said something different. All right, here's the thing. I don't know. This is just a wild guess, but I hope you could agree because I feel like this is common sense. But I feel like the average documented person in this country has probably a less crime rate than the average undocumented person in this country. I have zero clue on the statistics. Could be a terrible guess, but I would
Well, let me
bet some
tell
money
you.
that.
Let me tell you, undocumented immigrants are multiple times as likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, property crime in the country comparative to natural-born U.S. citizens. There's a bibliography in my bio that you can check out where there's an entire set of sources pages that go over immigration and crime that demonstrate that there's a lower rate of crime for undocumented immigrants.
Yes, but could this just be fake? Could this be fake news? Could this be CNN?
Are you trolling? No, it's not CNN.
I mean,
These are studies.
yes, true, but there's been so many studies in the past that have been filled with propaganda and just fake. Like, and I'm not even saying necessarily politically. There's been many studies, like, I don't know if you're a health guy, but back in the day, they're just starting to like figure it out now. But back in the day, they like, what do you think about like whatever? This is kind of a meaningless topic, but basically, doctors and just like the sugar industry paid studies and paid like the FDA or whatever, someone like that, to basically say that meat is bad and sugar is not terrible for you. And we were kind of figuring out that sugar is terrible for you and that it's not like saturated fat and whatever. I'm just saying studies can be falsified.
I just want to let you know that's why right now there are conflicts of interest that are listed in the context of studies that are conducted.
That's what I'm saying. I think
you understand that we have a different process for addressing this now that allows for more accountability than historically has existed.
More accountability, sure, but it's not 100%.
But it's significantly better. Are you saying that the consensus isn't better in terms of science?
I mean, sure, it's better, but
I mean, Trump literally believes the climate's going to start cooling. Science just doesn't know it yet. He said that we should look into disinfectant by injection to fight COVID-19. He said we should nuke hurricanes to fight them. I don't think he's very good at science.
Was Biden good at science?
I think better than Trump.
I think they're both pretty terrible, but that's fine.
I definitely think Biden's definitely better than Trump. I mean, I think it's a very low bar, though, of course.
I think Biden had maybe someone in his ear to tell him what was right, but I don't think he could. I don't think
There's no evidence of that even, but...
What do you mean? Was it? Wait, I just want to...
And even if that was the case, that still puts him in a better position than Trump.
Yes, but he couldn't even like copy what the guy was telling him, so he was just saying a bunch of nothing. But also, I just want to say the fact. I mean, like, I don't think we're really going to get.
Trying to say there. Go ahead.
I don't think we're really going to. Do you think we're getting anywhere here? Because basically,
not really.
I have another point, and it's just a different thing. But if you want to keep talking about this, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me why you support Trump in general.
Well, I guess I don't know, the Democratic Party. I feel like I'm more of a capitalist in a sense, and I just kind of disagree with DEI. I disagree with the fact that like, I don't know, like, this may be wrong, and I actually want to know your opinion on this. But you know how basically the Democratic Party is like, oh, we don't see color's not important, and that like color of your skin means nothing.
I don't even think that's what we're claiming. But like, no. Could you tell me what DEIA is? What does it stand
for? Diversity, education, inclusion, or some crap.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility.
Okay, I was one away. Come on, that's pretty solid. Come on, Parker, that's pretty decent. Come on, that's a 67%.
You're getting clipped, buddy. You're getting clipped.
That's a 67%. I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. All right, but with common sense though, if you do use DEI, obviously the standard's going to go down. That's just obvious.
So DEI doesn't necessarily entail that less qualified individuals are getting into these positions. Actually, I would say it increases the qualifications of individuals because of the fact that it increases the interview pool to allow for more communities to be able to be interviewed. That's essentially the whole point of DEI, like IA, and to ensure like adequate access to things that people need. Like, for example, like literally just ramps for people who are disabled to be able to get into public buildings is literally an example of DEI.
I'm not saying all DI is bad. I'm saying, but I do like R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. But this is what the point he makes with DI is great. Like the NBA, you know, if they made it where we need 50% white and 25% Asian and then it's just 25% black, even though the NBA is like 65% black, that would obviously bring down the quality of play. Would it not?
If there was an increase in the interview pool because white people were historically disadvantaged from being able to get into these positions,
not- well,
that
I'm
would
not
make
saying
sense, but
increase
white
in-
people have not been historically disadvantaged from being able to get into these positions. You understand that the communities we're talking about have been historically disadvantaged in getting into these positions, not based upon their qualifications, but based upon biases that exist in society. So there have not been biases limiting white people from getting into the NBA, but there have been biases limiting other communities from being able to get into these different positions of power that we're referencing DEI should be applicable to. So what you're not understanding is that there has to be an implication that there was literally a restriction in access to this before for it even to make sense to implicate DEI in the first place. Otherwise, what you're saying is just not even actually critiquing DEI, and it's just a straw man of DEI because you can't actually argue against DEI.
Well, okay, if you're saying DI, I get the thought process. I just don't think it works in practice. So wait,
It does.
is
It
there
quite
D-
literally has been used, and you
is there-
agree with its
is-
usage. You just said that you don't disagree with its usage in all scenarios.
Yes, in all scenarios, I don't disagree. Yes, I think you're kind of an idiot if you disagree with something in all scenarios. Besides some, obviously, some things, but yes, if you're saying in the fact that DEI is just used to increase the sample size or the interview pool, sure, that's fantastic. But aren't there a lot of times where we need to mandate a certain percent of this race or this ethnicity?
Wait, say that again. We're not asking for quotas. We're saying that there's an increase in the interview pool so that more people get interviewed, so that qualified people do get into those positions, because historically speaking, qualified individuals have not been allowed into these positions of power.
But at the end of the day, realistically, I think that's fake. No one's just gonna be like, okay, this person's. I'm telling you, this person. Also, well, I just say this. The wage gap and like the women's wage. This is all just like this all. What do you think about the wage gap? So
What kind of pivot is this? Why
I
are
know
you
it's a
pivoting
pivot,
again?
but I just. Well,
You just
I'm
like
thinking
you just
about-
like want to pivot to everything.
I
Like
wanna
you
talk about
pivoted
every-
when bringing up DEI in the first place, and then now you're pivoting again, wanting to talk about the wage gap.
I don't think I pivoted. I just brought up DEI.
No, I think that was a pivot from what we were just talking about in terms of DEI, because you just learned that DEI isn't actually just a quota putting unqualified people into positions of power, but it's actually like specifically meant to increase the interview pool to get more qualified individuals into these positions of power, because unqualified individuals were allowed in these positions because of the fact that there were biases against other communities.
Well, okay, if it's just to increase the interview pool, fantastic. I don't think that's a problem. But I think it's a problem if there's quotas. And I think there are times where there's quotas.
I don't think that's what most people are advocating for when they're referencing DEIA.
That's
I think
fine.
most people
I
are
agree
referencing
with-
increasing access and opportunity.
Okay, for sure I agree with increasing access, but I just disagree with quotas.
Okay.
I think that a lot of Republicans also agree with me. If you want to interview more people, that's fantastic. Choose the best person for that job, but just don't choose someone because they have a different color skin or because you want someone like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we're advocating for specifically just quotas to put people in those positions. We're advocating for increasing the interview pool to be able to create more diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility.
Fantastic. We agree on that, Parker.
Okay, so you
Let's
agree with
go.
DEIA. Interesting.
I agree with DI in some circumstances.
Can I ask you a question then? Okay, so like in terms of supporting Donald Trump, why do you support him?
Because I don't think the past Democrat, I don't think Biden or Kamala. Well, I guess okay. Why do I support Trump?
Mhm.
I guess he's not a lifelong politician. That's probably the main reason. And he's a businessman. I really agree that he was a successful businessman, not a lifelong politician. So he was successful before he came into politics, where a lot of people have been, have owed a lot of favors to many people. You know.
What is bad about lifelong politicians?
They've met a lot of people. Well, okay, I guess Trump has. Basically,
Yeah, I've
the
seen
sense-
it. Sorry, go ahead.
you okay? You got coffee?
Yeah.
COVID? Okay. I guess the problem is that with a lifelong politician is that they owe many favors, and I don't know if you've seen this, but it was showing all the presidents' net worths before presidency and after presidency.
Trump
And
has
it's not
doubled
just-
his net worth.
Okay, but still, I saw a different thing.
No, you are seeing something that's cut off at a certain amount of time. He's doubled his net worth. He's at like 7 trillion.
Was it
Or
7
7
trillion?
7 trillion, 7 billion, sorry.
I was gonna say this is 1,000x. All right.
Yeah, I mean that was an accident. I didn't mean to say trillion.
No, you're fine.
7 trillion would be crazy, dude.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, then maybe.
Well, I mean, Elon's about to hit a trillion.
Really. But the thought process is, wait, when did this happen? Was this after he made like the coin or whatever, his crypto? Do you know how this occurred?
I mean, Trump did do that. What occurred though? Sorry.
Like how he doubled his net worth, because I remember in the
that was a part of it. Yeah, that was a part of it. It was also Truth. It was mainly Truth Social.
What's that?
He created his own social media platform. It had an increase in valuation.
I think. Well, okay, yeah, that's like business ventures, though. I feel like. I mean, what did?
But
like,
he did
I
that.
don't know if
He got into that position because of the fact that he was president.
I mean, okay, did he make the $5 billion before presidency because of what?
Wait, those were other reasons. I mean, he inherited $400 billion from his dad. 400 million.
Okay.
Sorry.
You just love adding money to.
For some reason I just love doing that. I guess today.
Gosh, you got me mixed up now. Yeah. Okay. Yes, but he okay. I don't know if this is true, but this is the picture I seen. So this is, I guess, outdated, but it works perfectly fine. It was like Bill Clinton was at like 2 million before presidency, and he ended like with 120 million. That is just
okay.
That is way bigger than Trump, because Trump already made billions of dollars. For him to get another $1 or $2 billion is very easy. I feel like obviously very difficult, but once you're at an obscene amount of wealth, gaining more obscene amount of wealth is very simple. But once you're at 2 million to 128 million, that is very fishy. And we know Bill Clinton's not the most honest of men.
Okay. What was your point?
I just think he's more. I think he's more honest, because it showed like the past like.
You think Trump is more honest? I mean, he had 30,000 confirmed lies or misleading statements in his first administration. He cheated on every single one of his wives. He lied about the Epstein files and said that they were a hoax. He said that they were going to release all the Epstein files on the day they said they were going to release all the Epstein files, and then broke the law and hasn't released all of them, and is continually not doing that right now. So I mean, what are you talking about?
I think he's less. He's not bought compared to the other. Like, you know how you get mad at Trump for just like saying stupid stuff, which it does sometimes. It's because he's at least being who he is. With Biden, you don't have him. He's a puppet. Same with Kamala. They're puppets in this thing. They don't really have a personality. They just get told what to say and what to do. And I know I don't really have evidence, but I feel like it's
okay. I mean, a lot of people from your own side critique him and literally say that he's bought by Israel, and say that again, like his biggest donor being like someone specifically who's pro-Israel is obviously influencing him to hold those particular positions. I mean, you can point to that. You can also point to the fact that he went up to big fossil fuel companies and said, if you give me $1 billion for my campaign, I'll give you $110 billion in tax cuts. He also literally reduced tariffs on Switzerland for a gold bar and a Rolex clock. Like literally. He got a plane from Qatar, a $400 million jet from Qatar. What's that?
Doesn't let's be honest, Israel owns all these guys, but doesn't AIPAC give money to the Democrats too?
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. But like the point that you were making was that he's not like all of these lifelong politicians, and that he's different and he's not bought and paid for. But I can point to multiple things that can indicate that. And I'm not just indicating AIPAC specifically. I'm literally saying his largest donor, that he even had speak on a public platform in front of the entirety of the American people, did that. Right? Like they literally are pro-Israel.
I think he's less bought than the Democrat Party. And also, okay, should we pivot again? You want to pivot with me?
What's up? Say it again.
I said, you want to pivot with me?
Go ahead if you'd like to.
All right. E. Jean Carroll, right? That's the lady.
E. Jean Carroll, yeah.
E. Jean Carroll. I just want to say, you bring up that he's civilly liable. My question is, why isn't he criminally liable? Why is he civilly liable?
Yeah, because of statute of limitations.
So why did she bring it up 30 years later when he was becoming president? And
he was already president when she brought this up in 2019.
Or, okay, better for my point. Why do it when he's president?
That
because
is.
of the fact that one, it took decades for her to feel comfortable with coming out because of the fact that her family members specifically, she didn't want them to have to go through these sets of circumstances and dealing with it, right? And for many victims, it takes decades for them to come out. That's a normal thing for that to happen, especially when a person in a position of power, right, literally uses their position of power in order to silence victims, right, and limit them from speaking up. I mean, quite literally, we can look at the Epstein files that were just released, where Trump was talking about abusing some girl in reference to talking with Epstein, and then literally, like the person was scared of coming out and talking about the fact that this happened because they were scared of being unalived.
I don't buy it. What if this is fake, Parker?
Oh,
What,
so
what if
you just think that they're faking a hoax? This is my issue.
what if it could be? I just want to say this though. Wait, let me say this. You know how you brought up the pedophiles or whatever, or not pedophiles, just felons shouldn't be able to run for president. Like, I
I
mean,
don't think a felon should be able to run for president. Is that what you just
yeah,
asked?
yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's a fine thing to say. But you
I
agree
mean, I
that you
think
said.
that some felonies you should be allowed to still run, but
Oh, okay. Well, basically, in the sense though, I don't think that's a good idea, and this is why I don't think it's a good idea. Obviously, like rapists or grapists shouldn't be able to run for president. But
okay.
the
Well, then
problem
Trump shouldn't be allowed to run for president.
No, but here's the thing: that if we knew in a great world, if we knew 100% Trump did it, like we don't know 100%, nothing's 100%. This lady could be lying. We don't know 100%. If we knew 100% sure, then all felons with who did something along those lines or something terrible like that, they shouldn't be able to run. We don't know 100%, and I think that would be kind of a sketchy thing to do, because then people like the Democratic Party would be like, okay, JD Vance is running this year. Let's get this lady to say he did this. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like,
How come they didn't do this with all the different Republican nominees?
I don't know, maybe they just figured it out.
They
Maybe
just
they're just
figured
like,
it out. They just
they
figured
kind
it
of,
out. He was also held liable. It's not just an accusation.
yes,
And also,
but
there were 26 plus people that accused him of sexual misconduct. I don't know why you're not talking about that. And also,
yeah,
this person that literally was in a limo hearing them talking about it.
the Me Too movement, though, if I was a girl and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna get paid from the civil lawsuit. Maybe I'm gonna get a quick $5 million. Why wouldn't I lie? You don't think there's hundreds of millions of women in this world who wouldn't be like, okay, let me lie? Obviously, they all can't because they all haven't been in America or met
I think
Trump.
it's very unlikely that people are going to lie about SA in order to get quote unquote money from it. And also, in most of these circumstances, they didn't get money from it. So, why did they then accuse Donald Trump? So,
Didn't
you're just going to have some sort of conspiracy reason to say, like, oh, I'm not going to accept it in practically any circumstance just because it was targeted against Donald Trump.
didn't the lady get money? It was a civil lawsuit, so she ended up
Yeah,
getting
but
money.
that's because Donald Trump defamed her. And then, in order to prove defamation, she had to prove sexual abuse, which she did. But, I mean, you believe every single one of the victims are lying.
Okay, well, I'm just saying there's a possibility of them lying. It's not for sure. Just because
It's most probable that they are not lying and that Donald Trump is the one lying. Why don't you question
Well,
if
but,
Donald
like,
Trump's lying when he's the pathological liar that cheated on every single one of his wives?
Okay, if you're just gonna trust in like the court system, what do you think about OJ? Did OJ definitely not do it? I
Do
feel
you
like
think that?
95%.
Do you
I
think he
don't
did
know.
it?
Honestly, 95% of this. I'm just saying this. 95% of the country believes he did it. I'm just
Okay,
saying the
so
court
and
system
that's
is
a
flawed.
civil case that determined that, not a criminal case. You just proved our point, didn't you?
What?
You just proved our point, didn't you?
What point did I prove?
Because he was held liable in a civil court and not convicted in a criminal court. So you
I'm
literally,
just
if
saying
anything, proved our point.
I did not. I didn't prove. I'm just saying
You said most people accept the civil case against OJ, but are not willing to accept the civil case against Trump.
I'm saying that. What do you mean? Didn't OJ got he got convicted civilly? I thought
He was held liable in a civil court, but he was not convicted in a criminal court.
okay, that just doesn't make sense to me. No. It just doesn't make sense. Why would they? Okay, why would they do it civilly but not criminally? How
Well,
can
no,
you
it
get
was
one?
criminally. They just didn't hold him accountable in a criminal court. It didn't meet that
Okay,
standard. But then again, so you say it's enough to accept in a civil court with OJ, but it's not enough in a civil court to accept with Trump.
I'm just saying a lot of people think. I think there's much more evidence with OJ than there is with Trump. It's kind of he said she said situation. Like,
Okay,
yes,
so
Trump has.
okay,
please,
so now you're
Trump
saying
has
wait.
the
So then
paper.
name one piece of evidence in the case against Donald Trump that you dispute.
Well, her testimony, I guess. I'm not saying I'm not saying she's definitely lying. I'm just saying that the possibility of her lying, there is a big possibility.
Can you say anything other than just her testimony?
Well, she doesn't have that much evidence, so there's not many things to choose
Yeah,
from.
there's plenty of evidence in the case. Okay, can you tell me one of the pieces of evidence you dispute?
Her testimony, the other woman's
Other than
testimony.
just saying her testimony, because that's such a obviously you haven't looked at the case if you can just say that.
What do you mean? There's been like two things of evidence that I saw. It was one where there was a video of him saying something weird. Like, I agree that was weird. That doesn't necessarily make him civilly liable. And then her testimony. Those are like the two big pieces of
So
evidence that
I
I
can
saw.
give you other pieces of evidence, and you're simply not telling us because I don't think you know. What store was this alleged to have occurred in?
I have zero clue. Macy's?
No,
A Dick's
Bergdorf
Sporting
Goodman.
Goods?
So you didn't even look at the case. You don't even know anything about the case. You don't even know a single piece of evidence in the case you dispute. Okay, I can tell you pieces of evidence
I'm not
in the
saying
case,
I necessarily 100%
but you didn't even look at the
dispute it.
case. You don't even know what was alleged to have occurred.
I'm just saying there's a possibility of
It's a
lying.
possibility of it being wrong, even
Yes.
though a unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury indicated it to be true, and that Donald Trump was actually the one lying, because Donald Trump said they never met. There's a picture of them shown together. Donald Trump said he wouldn't have sexually abused her because she's quote unquote not his type, but then in a
There's so
deposition mistook her with his ex-wife.
There's so many situations like this one, like Sean Oakman, Brian Burns, where
You just got a flag for harassment and bullying. All right, everyone. Dean is live right now. I was probably going to go join him for a little bit. And then I should be on live doing another live for like 2 hours or something like that, starting at like 3:40. I think I'll be on for like 2 hours then. So we were going to do 2 hours now or 2 hours then. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. We'll be joining Dean's live for right now. I love everyone so much. I will see everyone here in a bit. I think Dean's probably already on live on YouTube. If not, I can stay on live here on YouTube until he does. But yeah, thank you everyone from joining in. I really appreciate it. I will see y'all here in a little bit on TikTok. I'll see y'all. Love y'all.